Apple became the first publicly listed U.S. company worth $1 trillion £770 billion on Thursday, after its share price was buoyed by a stronger-than-expected earnings report. The landmark caps the company's decade-long transformation from a niche maker of personal computers to the world's most valuable company, a meteoric rise fueled by the popularity of its iPhone handsets. The broad impact of that shift outside of the technology field was underscored earlier this week by an Ofcom report that found people now check their mobile devices every 12 minutes on average. Smartphone saturation has been highlighted by both Apple and Google this year, with both firms introducing dashboards aimed at helping users monitor the amount of time they spend using their gadgets. Apple Park, Apple's new headquarters in Cupertino. Smartphone success. The iPhone, introduced in 2007, was the first smartphone to catch on with a mass public, and has seen Apple's revenue surpass the economic outputs of Portugal, New Zealand and other countries. The company's market value is now greater than the capitalization of ExxonMobil, Procter. Tim Cook, who took over the chief executive role from Steve Jobs in 2011, has doubled the company's profits and fostered a 2,000% growth in its share price, even as landmark new product lines, which, under Jobs, include the iMac, the iPod and the iPad, have tapered off. Indeed, the spectacular growth in smartphones, that means 78% of UK adults now own one, according to the Ofcom report, has significantly leveled off in recent months, with smartphone shipments showing their first-ever decline earlier this year. Nevertheless, Apple this week reported quarterly profits of $11.5 billion on record sales of $53.3 billion. Last year's sales were $229 billion, a more than 11-fold rise from its less than $20 billion in sales the year before the iPhone's introduction. Over the same period, net profit rose from just under $2 billion to $48.4 billion. Growth was strong all around the world, said Apple head of finance Luca Maestri in introducing the latest figures. The 10th anniversary iPhone X. Competition. Apple's shares have risen 30% over the past year and were also boosted by the announcement that the company has set aside $100 billion for a new share repurchase program. The latest results were fueled by sales of the iPhone X, which sells for about $1,000, along with App Store, Apple Music and iCloud subscriptions. The only other company to have traded at the same level is Chinese government-controlled PetroChina, which briefly reached a valuation of about $1.1 trillion in 2007 following its public listing in Shanghai, according to Reuters. Amazon.com is the second-largest listed U.S. company, at about $880 billion, followed closely by Google parent Alphabet and Microsoft. By contrast, Facebook, which has at other times been another star of Wall Street, saw the single worst day in stock market history last week when its shares shed more than $120 billion, losing more than 20% of their value, following repeated data scandals and a disappointing earnings report. Read also.